Doctor, what are the common misconceptions today about the morning toilet routine? And what does Ayurveda advise us?
The word ablutions is a funny word. It means to get rid of. And so nobody wants to say the words that I'm going to use, which are pee and poop. Sometimes in Hindi or Indian languages we call it latrine, toilet. But even you're not doing latrine. Latrine is that ceramic bowl. What you're talking about is the stuff that comes out. And that stuff should come out programmed by the instinct of the body. It should actually come out before you get busy with your day. So when you first wake up in the morning, 5, 6 o'clock, as soon as you sit up in bed, you should get the sense, like they call it nature is calling, right? So you should get that sense that I have to go to the toilet. And certainly you should empty your bladder, which means peeing, but you should also feel that urge for everything coming down into the anatomical part called the rectum, and it will press and tell you it's time to send it out. In the last century, just about 100 years ago, दो लोग था, एक का नाम था Crapper. Actually, this is the truth. And he took a small closet because तब तक सब bathrooms बाहर था. कभी नहीं पानी या टॉयलेट का कटोरी अंदर होते थे. And these guys said, it's too cold outside, it's raining outside, let's make it convenient, right? We are humans, we should have convenience. So inside a closet, they put water to flow and flush out, and they put a chair because ladies used to have large skirts, hoop skirts at the time, and they couldn't sit down because they would disappear in their skirts. So they made a chair. And for men to urinate, it was easier to aim at something that was 2-3 feet than all the way on the ground. So it became a chair toilet. And within years, it was found that the chair toilet is bad for the health. It created varicose veins, those veins which look like your blood vessels are coming up to the surface of the skin. It created piles, which is known as hemorrhoids. It created weakness in the thighs, weakness in the legs, and water, pani jam jate hai pair mein. So they knew it was bad, but around that time World War I happened. Everyone was busy at war. They didn't have time to chair toilet ko badal karke purana wala toilet le aana hai. And Henry VIII, who was morbidly obese, couldn't sit down. So at the end or middle of his life, the servants had created a platform for that toilet so he could sit. And so people learned that he did this bizarre thing where he sat on a chair with a hole inside, and that's where he would use or empty his bowels. So it became a royal thing. So to have a chair toilet was royal. This is the history of how we then, as Indians, love everything that's American and European. So we also left our Indian toilets and created chair toilets, which is the worst thing you can do. So in most houses, they keep an Indian toilet for the servants because it's considered niche, it's considered nichu, for the servants. But actually, the best thing you can do is use that toilet, because when I mentioned the rectum earlier, that organ, when you want to open it up, we have a natural posture which we call, Bengali say kujo kore bosha, which is squatting. So when you squat, the hips turn in such a way that there are 3 muscles. They hold everything in on the bottom of your hips. One is called the puborectalis, and it naturally opens and allows the rectum rectalis to come and let the stuff out. The stuff means the feces or the poop. If you don't do that and you strain, over time you lose that muscle strength. It means that when you're having sex as a man, you can't hold well, so you lose your seed, your sperm. And if you're a woman, you can't hold your vaginal grip as well. And it makes the vaginal muscles weak so that when they deliver babies, they're not as well. There's all kinds of pathologies that we are doing to disturb those muscles in the bottom of our gut because we sit on chair toilets. So when people are constipated and the poop is not coming out, it's very painful. They strain and then they get hemorrhoids. So I tell them to start. I say, get some old newspaper, squat on the bottom of your bathroom floor, poop sitting there for 3 days, try that and see what it feels like. Most of them say, I'm so embarrassed. What do I do with that poop? I said, you pick up the newspaper and you throw it into the toilet. Not the newspaper, the poop into the toilet. And at first they're embarrassed, but actually it feels so good to ablute, to go that way, that they realize that actually that's the natural way. And most will then think about what they did in the village, where you would go. I don't know how many people actually have a village experience today, but we used to go out into this area and we would wear our chappals. We would go into an area, dad or mom would check that there are no snakes or any frogs or something, and we would just bend down, we would make a little hole, we would poop, and then we'd take leaves. Dad gave us the right leaves because you don't want scratching afterwards. So we would use those leaves, clean, and then cover that soil. And that was the natural way to do it. And you do it once a day, you get very good at it, you know what to do. And that was the completion of the pooping. The rest of the day you're active. The body had a way of saying, no, it's not the time. Unless there's an emergency, unless you have diarrhea, unless you have something going on wrong in your body, just in the morning it was fine. So this is the ancient normal way of pooping. What we have become in the last 100 years is some kind of like mutation where we don't understand what it is to be natural in pooping. If you want to relearn, go and watch your animals in nature and how they do it. So we should come back to that. And when people do, they get healthier, they lose their hemorrhoids, they lose their piles, they regain the strength in their pelvis.